This won't come as a surprise, but the first post-debate polls show a massive swing toward Donald Trump. According to a new survey from St. Anselm College, Trump is now up 2 points in New Hampshire. That's a 12-point swing. Meanwhile, the debate sponsor CNN came out with a new poll, and it shows Trump increasing his lead nationwide. Most voters in that poll indicate that Democrats have a better chance of keeping the White House if Biden is not the nominee. The word electability that used to vex Donald Trump is now being applied to Joe Biden. Nate Silver's latest forecast confirms this sentiment, finding that Trump has a 72% chance of winning in November. Remarkable. Joining us now to dig into the numbers, pollster Lee Carter, and also Trump 2024 Deputy Campaign Communications Director Caroline Sunshine. It's really nice to have both of you join us. Lee Carter, we're just starting to get the new numbers in from the post-debate polls, and it looks like everything's coming up Trump. But I think that's one side of the ledger. The other side is that everything's down for Biden, which are two very different things. How would someone like Joe Biden be able to recover from poll numbers that are generated by what we saw, his cognitive decline?
The only way that he's going to recover from this is if he can demonstrate that he is able to hold a conversation, that he is able to have a press conference, take questions, be able to do the job. People's concern about Joe Biden is significant. When I had, the focus group live on debate night, we had Democrats, independents, Republicans, all of whom jaws were dropping, and they were so concerned. Nothing that Joe Biden has done so far has alleviated the concern. He went on Friday. He did his rally in North Carolina. We haven't heard from him unscripted yet. We're not going to hear from him until Sunday. He's got to be out there changing the narrative. And so the question is actually getting worse. People are saying, is he even capable of changing the narrative? What's really going on here? And so until he's able to do that, I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg in his polls. I think we're going to see them get worse and worse. Of our undecided voters that we had in the focus group, there were 5 of them. 4 of them switched to Donald Trump that night. Not all of them were Republicans. 3 of them were independents. 1 was a Democrat, and they said that they could not vote for Joe Biden after watching that debate. And I think we're going to continue to see this until either a change happens or something gives.
And Caroline Sunshine, thank you very much for joining us. I see this contrast, Lee touched on it, that Joe Biden is not doing press conferences, he's not taking the tough questions, he's not really giving unscripted interviews spontaneously. He's also apparently not talking to members of his own party. He's yet to reach out, as of tonight, to Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, poised to be speaker if Joe Biden has some kind of wave. How is that working? You're with Donald Trump most days, and he's constantly working the phones with members of Congress, with members of his own party, with Senate candidates, with governors, because when you're the nominee, you are the leader of the party. And it just strikes me that Joe Biden's making a huge mistake by isolating himself. How are you dealing with what's been really the best week for Donald Trump in quite some time, with Supreme Court decisions, with the debate, obviously, with the polls pre-debate and now post-debate? Are you keeping it humble, putting your head down and trying to win, or celebrating a little?
Well, I can tell you the conversations that our campaign and our party are having are very different from the Democrats' panic and disarray. We couldn't be prouder to have President Trump as our nominee. He has unified and inspired our party, and our conversations are about how much money we're raising, about the liberal reporters in our inboxes asking us how we are celebrating and capitalizing off of so much winning in 1 week. We are thinking about which states like Virginia and Minnesota that we're going to flip, and we are thinking about which big, beautiful, massive crowd we are going to put President Trump and his winning message in front of next. President Trump continues to win for our party, for our movement, for Jocelyn Nungaray, for Laken Riley, for Rachel Morin, and he's going to keep winning on behalf of all the forgotten men and women of our country.
He's lucky to have you, Caroline. And Lee, on that matter of expanding the map, it seems like Joe Biden may be contracting his map. Do you see a route for him in North Carolina at this point? What about Nevada, which hasn't gone Republican at the presidential level since 2004, but where Donald Trump has been consistently ahead, as he is in other more racially diverse states? Can you think of any state where Joe Biden can actually expand his map?
Don't. In fact, things are looking really, really bleak. They're getting worse. We didn't expect to see poll numbers like this in North Carolina and Nevada, and Trump is winning in those states. I mean, look at what's happening in New Hampshire. We haven't seen a Republican win New Hampshire in years, and yet here we are. And when you look back at the polling, you pointed out in 2016, a lot of the pollsters had things wrong. 2016, 2020, Donald Trump was never leading in the polls. Yeah. Anyone who said that he was going to win was doing that understanding that the polls might underestimate him. He always overperforms the polls. He did so in 2016. He even outperformed the polls in 2020, who expected Joe Biden to win in a landslide. Nobody expected it to be as close as it was. And yet, here we are. We haven't seen Joe Biden ahead in the polls really since April. Things are getting worse and worse, and I think we're going to see some real shifts. And we're seeing shifts among some audiences you wouldn't expect. We're seeing shifts in voters, Black voters. We're seeing shifts in Hispanic voters. We're seeing shifts even in female voters, which I don't think was expected. And so, across the board, I think the path for Joe Biden looks worse and worse.
Yes, there seems to be a new gender gap in American politics, even if that biased media doesn't cover it. And it's Biden and the Democrats' problem with men. He's really dipping terribly among men, even before the debate. I think this is a very important conversation to have. Who's expanding, who's contracting their maps. So we, of course, will all be watching those hot Senate races. Right now, the Democrats are leading Republicans in many places. Lee Carter, Caroline Sunshine, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.